Hey, I'm Randy Akers, and welcome to another episode of the Parent's Guide to Video Games. In today's video, we're going to cover one of the more popular games of the last decade, Minecraft. Minecraft was released in 2009, so it's not exactly new at this point, but the game does continue to be updated regularly with new content on a regular basis. The first thing to know about Minecraft is that there's actually two versions of the game available to play. The first is the older version of Minecraft, called the Java Edition, which is only available on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, so it's only available on PCs. The second is the version that your kids probably already have installed on their phones or gaming consoles, which is Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Bedrock is available on just about any device you can think of: computers, phones, tablets, gaming consoles, and players on any of these devices can also play with players on other devices. So, for example, if I were playing Minecraft on my phone via the Bedrock Edition, I could also play with my friend who's playing on their Xbox. Unfortunately, crossplay between the Java and Bedrock editions of the game is not possible due to the way that the two versions are coded, which is a little technical and not something we're going to get into for this video. Simply put, the objective of Minecraft is to build and explore in a nearly endless open world. There are several different game modes you can play in, the first of which is the survival game mode. In survival, the player has to gather materials to build structures, craft items, and gain experience points, more commonly referred to as XP. There's also a health bar like in many other video games, which means if you run out of health, your character will die. A hunger bar, meaning your character must eat food in order to survive. An armor bar, meaning your character can craft and wear various levels of armor to keep them safe from attack. And an oxygen bar while swimming to indicate how much air the character has left while swimming underwater. If your character dies in the game, you will lose all of your XP and items, but you will respawn and can start over without much penalty. The second most popular game mode is the creative game mode. In creative, the player has access to a nearly infinite supply of every item in the game and can build and destroy these items instantly. Players are invulnerable to harm, do not have a health or hunger bar, and can fly. In this mode, the player can basically do and build whatever they want without fear of consequence or fear of dying. This might be the best mode for kids who are only interested in the game for the ability to build things. You may have heard of Minecraft referred to as virtual Legos, which I suppose is best exemplified by this game mode. The third most popular game mode is Hardcore, which is not for new players. The Hardcore game mode plays exactly like the survival game mode that we already talked about, with the major difference being that when you die, the game is over and you cannot respawn. At that point, the map can no longer be played, so the player cannot make any further progress in that world. Minecraft is what's referred to as a sandbox game, meaning you as the player can take control and have a serious impact on the world overall. You can build, create, destroy, and basically do whatever you want. You can even reach a point where, once you understand a little bit more about how the game works, you can use its mechanics to make your in-game life a little less tedious and a little more automated. As for the game's rating, the Entertainment Software Rating Board has given the game a rating of everyone 10+, meaning that if your child is younger than 10, this game may not be suitable for them. Finally, let's talk about the cost. The cost of Minecraft is going to vary depending on which version of the game that you buy. Minecraft Java Edition currently costs about $27 at the time this video is posted. This is also about what the Bedrock Edition will cost on PC and Xbox. On a mobile device, the game will cost about $7. The most you will pay for the base game will be around about $30. In the Java Edition, cosmetic items to change the look of your character or your game are typically free. However, in the Bedrock Edition, these cosmetic items will cost money. If your child is playing the Bedrock Edition, this can be the very first lesson you can use this game to teach them. If you provide them an allowance to purchase cosmetic items, you can use this as an opportunity to teach them about budgeting and saving. Now, let's take a look at some gameplay from both the Java and Bedrock versions of the game. Okay, so here we are in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. This is the edition that we discussed earlier in the video that is available on just about every device you can think of. It's available on Windows PCs, it's available on Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. It's also available on your iPhones and Android devices. So it's a pretty universal piece of software that can be played on just about any device. As you can see, this is pretty much the menu screen. I've got an option to play the game, view the settings, or go to the marketplace. We'll kind of start on the marketplace just to kind of show you what I was talking about there being additional things that you can purchase in order to change the look of this game. You have skin packs, which will change the look of your character. And as you can see, these are available for purchase for what's called mine coins. Those are only available to purchase with real-world money. You also have texture packs that you can purchase, and these will change the look of your game. And this is what Minecraft looks like once you join a game. Again, you start basically with nothing. As you can see down here in the bottom of the screen, I have no inventory. If I open up my inventory, there's nothing that I have in here. So the very first thing that you're going to want to do in this game is come over to a tree and just start punching a tree. So in order to make some of the things like swords and pickaxes, you're also going to need some sticks. So we're going to need to make some sticks. We're only going to make a few right now. And if you double click on that, you'll make 8 instead of 4. And now we're going to make 1 wooden pickaxe. The wooden tools are really not that good in this game. They're pretty much the lowest tier of tool that you can make, so we don't really need to make too many of them. What we need to do is we need to go ahead and advance to getting stone tools, but in order to harvest stone in this game, you need a wooden pickaxe. So we're going to walk right over here to where I see a lot of cobblestone. As you can see, we're swimming. If you look in the bottom right hand side, you'll see that oxygen bar that I talked about earlier on in the video. But we're going to come right here, going to hop out of the water, and we're going to get some stone. So now the next thing we want to do is explore. As you can see, we have some friendly looking pigs right here. These guys can be turned into food. You could use your axe or your sword to do that. There's also sheep and cows and chickens in this game, all of which can be turned into food for your character to eat. Alright, now you might notice at the bottom right hand corner of the screen that my hunger bar has gone down by 1. That's because I've been running around in the game. The faster you run, the more quickly your hunger bar is going to go down. So this early in the game, if you don't have a lot of food, like I don't currently have a lot of food, I've only got 3 pieces of mutton that we got from the sheep, I probably don't want to be running quite as much as I am. Also, if you do take some fall damage, like if I jump off of here and you hear that sound, that means I got hurt while falling. I also lost a heart and a half worth of health. If my hunger bar is depleted, my health will not refill. So I'm going to need to be careful about making sure I don't overdo it in the game, making sure I keep my hunger bar as full as I possibly can, because if my hunger bar runs out, unfortunately, that's going to be game over for me. I'm going to despawn, and I'm going to have to start all over. So we've got our first monsters right here. These are zombies. They've got... This guy has a baby zombie riding on his back, which is pretty interesting. And these guys really don't like me. They want to make sure that I don't make it any further in the game than I absolutely have to. And this creeper here, we're going to go ahead and kind of, just to show you what happens, we're going to kind of let him do us some harm here. Boom. And that's it for us. But as you can see, we can click the respawn button here, which is going to take us back to the very first area we spawned in. Might look a little bit familiar to you. Right over there is where we were harvesting some stone earlier. Unfortunately, we did lose all of our items, because unfortunately in the Bedrock Edition, you're not able to typically keep your items upon death. In the Java Edition, there is a way to do that, but in the Bedrock Edition, I don't believe that's possible. Alright, so I'm back here in the pregame lobby, and I'm editing our world that we were just playing in. And as you can see down here, I have what's called a resource pack, or a texture pack. If I click on that, I can activate the texture pack that I have for this game, which is called the Fantasy Texture Pack. You can see that the loading screen is going to look a little bit different than it did before. This texture pack has kind of a medieval or fantasy type feel to it. You can see our inventory looks a little bit different. If I open that up, it's now blue instead of that silvery color that it was before. And the items in the world look a little bit different as well. Basically, all a resource pack or a texture pack does is change the way that your game looks. It doesn't have any effect on the way that the game performs. It doesn't have any effect on the way that the game will go for you as the player. It's purely cosmetic and nothing else. Okay, so here we are over in the Java edition of Minecraft, and as you can see, it looks a little bit different. Since it is a little bit older, it's a little bit more mature of a software. So as I mentioned earlier, once you get to the point where you're building things like castles, you can also build things like farms in the game, so you don't have to rely on animals or finding food. Just like in real life, it's easier to farm the food than it is to have to find it. So this is a small farm area that I built. You've got several different types of food that you can eat in this game. You have melons, you have pumpkins, you have sugarcane, which can be crafted into cakes and things like that. You have cocoa beans, which can be used to make cookies. You also have several different crops that you can grow, such as potatoes in there. You also have carrots over here. You have wheat back here, and then you have beetroot. And the very last thing that I want to show you is the other game mode that we talked about, which is creative. You can create a creative world that looks just like a normal world, but you can also create them in what's called a super flat, which basically means that there's no mountains, there's no forests or anything like that. So let's say, for example, I just want to build a quick house. So I'll grab some cobblestone for a base. Let's see here. What else would I like to make this house of? I'd like to make it out of some spruce wood. So we'll go ahead and grab some spruce wood. And as you can see, even though I've only got one of each item in my inventory, once I place it down, it doesn't leave my inventory. So I can basically do just about anything, build just about anything. And I don't have to worry about losing any of these items. I don't have to worry about getting more of these items. The items are just there. So I can build a quick little wall here for my front door. And this would be the front of my house. And as you can see, I haven't lost any of the items in my inventory. They're still there. I can build with as many of them as I want. I can grab some other blocks, like let's say I don't like that cobblestone at the bottom anymore. Let's say I want to turn that into just regular smooth stone. I can come over here, I can just punch it with my hand. It's instantly destroyed. I don't need a pickaxe or anything like that. And then I can come back in here with the regular stone, replace that, and there you have it. So now that you've learned about Minecraft and seen how it's played, let's talk a little bit about what your child might be able to learn from this game. The first thing I think Minecraft can teach kids is about patience and delayed gratification. As you saw in the gameplay, the pace of the game can be pretty slow. You start the game with nothing, and only through your hard work and dedication in the game can you make it to the point where you're building things like castles and farms. Just like in real life, patience pays off. The second is planning and math skills. Once you're able to build larger structures, such as a castle, you need to come up with a plan for how you're going to build them. You also need to know how many blocks and which types of blocks you'll need to complete your project. Again, just like in real life, in order to succeed, you have to have a plan. And while your child should be learning math in school, it's always good to reinforce these concepts in a way that is both fun and disguised so they might not realize that they're learning something while playing a video game. Finally, if your child is playing online with other players, they'll learn cooperation and teamwork. For large projects such as a town or a city, it will take several players to complete. Working together and being positive will make the task go much more quickly, again, just like in real life. Just keep in mind that while solo or offline games can be paused, online games cannot. If your child is playing a survival game mode online, they may not always be in a position to stop immediately if their gaming time is about to come to an end. Instead of demanding that they stop immediately, try giving them a warning that their game time is going to be over soon, so they can make sure that their character will be safe and that none of their hard work will be lost. Also, as your child will be playing with other people online, it's important to monitor their interactions for anything suspicious, as people of all ages can and do play online, not just kids. I hope this video has been helpful and has taught you some things you might not have known about Minecraft. Remember that Minecraft is a game of nearly endless opportunities, so take some time to think of some things that your child might learn from Minecraft and what the benefits of this game might be for your child, even if I didn't mention those benefits here. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook at GTCParks. I'll be back tomorrow with another video in the series. Until then, have a great day.